Here is a special technical information broadcast for members of the television and radio trade throughout the country.
Raidió Teilifís on Shelgrave, you're watching RTE One. We return now to the Gaiety Theatre Dublin for part 2 of Tops of the Town.
In the most gruelling sports event ever held in Ireland. Don't worry, all you have to do is watch it. The premier All-Ireland Triathlon.
Right now, our bank holiday movie stars Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase in Seems Like Old Times.
There's a look at the world of the culinary delights now as we join Doireann Éireann in a repeat of last Wednesday's edition of Bookside.
Gay Byrne is joined now by a host of well-known personalities as he looks back on 25 years of Irish life in our New Year's Eve special after all those late shows.
Now on RTÉ One, a chance to escape to the sunny seas, pirates and buried treasure and adventure in this animation of Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island.
Raidió Teilifís Éireann, you're watching RTE One.
Now, with a panel of experts standing by to answer questions from the studio audience, we join Olivia O'Leary for this week's edition of Questions and Answers.
Shayev Raidió Teilifís Éireann. Good morning, you're watching RTE One.
Another chapter from the Winnie the Pooh storybook is brought to life when all the inhabitants of the 100-acre wood have been increasingly annoyed by Tigger's bouncing, particularly Rabbit, whose garden has been almost obliterated.
Now stand by, because here comes the team with cartoon fun, excitement and prizes for here's Thursday's Jump Around.
You're watching RTE One. Tonight's edition of News Extra is presented now by Colin Murray.
Now on One, we kickstart our late movie double bill with the Browning version.
Now on One, let's remember this day in history over the past 100 years. Good morning, and you're very welcome to today's programmes here on RTE One. Now we open the doors to Open House.
Raidió Teilifís Éireann, you're watching RTE One.
Now it's a new series and the Health Squad have set themselves new challenges. But how will they handle a taxi driver who needs some change?
Raidió Teilifís Éireann, you're watching RTE One, where we now join Anne Doyle for the main evening news. In half an hour in First City, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, so Dean better watch out. But first, keep on track for a whistle-stop journey in tonight's Nationwide.
A reminder that tonight's Fair City is at the later time of 8:30 due to an hour-long EastEnders. Now, continuing in Carrickstown with the second in our double bill, Fair City.
Raidió Teilifís Éireann. This is RTE One. Time now for the latest in world events from Euronews.
You're watching RTE Two, and following on north you can see Kings Royal. On 2, Hugh Moran presents a roundup of the week's news in Newsweek.
Radio Teilifís Éireann, you're watching RTE Two. Now a roundup of today's world news in Newsnight.
Murphy finds herself face to face with the big boys in the Senate now. In this week's story at FYI, send in the clowns.
Now on the network, it's to Montreal for all the action in the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying session with Peter Collins. Coming up in 30 minutes, it's the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying session in Formula One motor racing. But now, Liam Mainley presents interesting music and guest artists.
Welcome to Sesame Street, where Bib gets a bowling ball stuck to his hand.
On to now, part 2 of Back to the Kingdom. Music from Flaciol na Éireann, nó Cucuig.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our programmes for today here on 2 and that you'll be able to join us again tomorrow, bright and early. We'll leave you now with Airtel's Job Finder, and of course 2FM is on the air through the night. So from me, James Connolly, and the rest of the Network 2 crew, a very good night.
Clint Eastwood stars in and directs the first of tonight's movies, Firefox, at 9 o'clock. But that's after World War I in colour.